This neighborhood is a very dangerous neighborhood right over here. People ignore the lights, they ignore the stop signs. Very dangerous. Yellow light comes and they just shoot through. Okay? Yellow means red is coming.
You ever see enforcement over here by NYPD?
Enforcement is terrible.
No enforcement.
No enforcement.
Would you like to see more enforcement?
Absolutely. They don't see the cyclists coming down the side. There's no bike lane here. There should be a bike lane here. There are bike lanes on streets where there are no bikers. This has no bike lane. There should be a bike lane here. You can quote me.
Tell me what it's like as a cyclist. Is it dangerous coming down 3rd Avenue?
No, it's just everything's high speed. That's the main concern. Everything is really fast. And usually when they come out of Dunkin' Donuts, they don't look where they're going. So that's the big issue with there. That intersection right there with Dunkin' Donuts. It's really hard. So I always try to stay safe and just stay on the right side, but it's so tight, narrow. So yeah, the door is always very dangerous. And it's very dangerous. That's why I always wear eye gear because I can't afford to blink. If you blink.
Now, do you think the city should put a bicycle lane along 3rd Avenue?
Oh, we need a bicycle lane somewhere because it's just not safe. 5th Avenue is difficult too much traffic, so it's really hard to just bike around Brooklyn, through this area. Yeah, I've been to it plenty of times. I've been to it like 4 times. Luckily, like I don't drive that fast just because I want to be safe. But yeah, it's a scary thing. It happens all the time.
As a cyclist, what are the main dangers that you see on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, there are several problems. Darring is absolutely a problem. Several cyclists, almost every cyclist in the city has experienced it. And 2-3 people so far this year have died as a result. It happens every single year. In addition to that, there's also the mixing with multi-ton trucks and vehicles. That is the constant lethal presence on our streets that every cyclist is really on the lookout for. And that is when you are turning at intersections, which is where most crashes and fatalities occur. And when you also see cars that veer into the traffic of bike lanes, where you also have cars and trucks that essentially treat painted bike lanes as temporary parking spaces, which is not only legal, but it's also lethal.
Now, what message would you give to the cyclists that are weaving in and out and not using the bike lanes or stuff like that? Any message you want to give to the cyclists of how they should obey, just like the drivers have to obey the laws?
Every road user should ride safely, and that goes for cyclists as well, and to look out for pedestrians. Always yield to pedestrians. Even if you have the right of way, you always yield to the pedestrians, and that karma should flow back up, and so all drivers of multi-ton cars and trucks should treat bicyclists in the exact same way.
What's a concern at this point from transportation alternative in terms of making cyclists killed today?
Well, it's a tragedy, and it's one tragedy after another. More than 60 cyclists have been killed since the onset of Vision Zero, which has saved lives, but also has really failed to live up to its full potential. And our biggest fear is that this moment, this tragedy, is not being used as a wake-up call for the city to truly invest in safer streets. And we have seen with the Greenway plan that the city has proposed that they are taking steps in that direction, but it really needs to be much bolder steps that we need to see from the city.
In this case, you have a cyclist that's riding down the street, you have a tractor trailer driver, and you have the driver of the van open the car.
We spend $242 million on average per year on repaving our streets. We can spend that amount to invest in a new, safe, protected bike lane network and create a city that is safer, that is inviting for cyclists, that is as a green form of transportation, and invest in our future.
In terms of 3rd Avenue here, it's really congested in terms of cyclists, motorists, and commercial vehicles. What would your recommendation be? What recommendation be on a road like this when you have industrial traffic and commuter traffic?
Yeah, the mix of industrial traffic, commuter traffic, and bicyclists is something that we need to be aware of. And the solution, quite simply, is to install a protected bike lane in both directions along 3rd Avenue. DOT is going to install a protected bike lane on 4th Avenue, but just like we wouldn't just force motorists to take adjacent roads 24/7, we should create paths for bicyclists that are safe and that exist on all major corridors.